Alright, for this third episode of the 10 in 10 challenge video series, let's talk about how the championship works and the recommendations of my coach. So last week I was able to learn a little bit more about how a championship in indoor skydiving works. Since it's my first experience, I needed to go through the rules of the competition. So in brief, as you might already know, I'm aiming to compete in the freestyle discipline because of its complexity and just because it's really fun to just fly in any possible orientation. So I'm looking forward to learn a little bit more about that. But that being said, I learned that the freestyle discipline has 7 rounds. Those rounds can go from 45 seconds up to a minute, and there's 2 types: free rounds and compulsory rounds. So the breakdown of those rounds goes like this. You have a free round, then a compulsory, then a free, compulsory, free. All the free rounds are the same, you just repeat the same routine. And the compulsory rounds are a group of movements that everyone will do to evaluate the skills of the flyers. So to let you know, the time for the compulsory rounds are about 45 seconds, and for the free routines, it's about 60 seconds. So when I first looked into the competition, well, my coach told me that there was a problem. In fact, there was only an open category for the freestyle discipline. The thing is that the open category is for everyone, and so you get to have the world champions and world competitors into the same categories than beginners just like me. That being said, the compulsory rounds for this category are more difficult. So we're seeing head downs and head ups position and movements. And so with the time frame that I have to get ready for the competition, I wouldn't have been able to be ready for the open category. So my coach told me, why don't you poke the organization of the championship and ask them to open an intermediate category so that new people like me could participate and get a sense of what is a championship in indoor skydiving. So this is what I did. I reached out, and fortunately there was also other people who were interested in participating into the intermediate level. So the championship organization ended up opening an intermediate categories. So first roadblock overcome. So I'm really happy about that. And we did take a look at the compulsories of the intermediate level, which are way more doable and achievable with the small time frame that I have to get ready. Because you remember, of course, we're talking about 10 weeks, 10 hours of tunnel time right before the championship. 10 hours is kind of not a lot. So let's take a look of the compulsories for the intermediate level. For the round 2, the head-up breaker, the T-position move, and the single front loop. Then in round number 5, we need to do those: double backflip, head up 360 up carve and down carve, double Thomas flare, which is slightly modified. So those are the movements that I'll need to practice and rehearse and get into my blood really for the competition. A good strategy that my coach told me about is that since we only have a block of 10 hours, which seems a lot, but for a championship it's really not a lot. Well, what he's gonna do is that my free routines are gonna use the same movements than the compulsory rounds. This way I'm gonna spend more time practicing the compulsory and really master them, and then I'm gonna incorporate them into the free routine. So this strategy, in my opinion, is brilliant. Next, I also learned that there's 2 kind of different steps into the championship. First, we need to send a video of our free routine, and this is when the judges will judge the actual difficulty of the routine. And the second step is the actual live competition, where they'll get to judge the execution of the free routine they saw earlier. So they're looking at the precision and control of the movements, the creativity, the delivery, so the appropriate use of space, and the appropriate use of time. The compulsory rounds and movements are evaluated on a scale from 0 to 10, depending on the performance, the quality of the movement, the precision and stuff like that. So that's it for the competition. Now, what do I need to do in order to get ready for the actual training in the wind tunnel? Because as you know, I'm gonna train 10 weeks prior to the championship. And so my training in the wind tunnel would start at mid-January. So up to then, I asked my coach, what can I do to get ready and perform a little bit better in the wind tunnel? Here's what he recommended me. First, he recommended me to watch the compulsory movement videos very carefully. So to watch them in slow-mo, to watch them by focusing on the upper body, and then the next time I watch it, I focus on the lower body. Try to visualize myself doing it, maybe try to do the movement here sitting in my living room, just to understand and learn the physics behind the movements. A good trick to better understand the movements are to also break them up. Last but not least, I did ask him a question and he was like, well, asking the question is like answering it. So I asked him, well, do I need to work on my flexibility and kind of be able to do the split in order to help me in the wind tunnel and also doing those movements and routines? He was like, well, of course, yes. So that being said, I've started to actually do yoga every morning. So I'm doing yoga routines to improve my flexibility, and also I'm trying to work on that split. Good, so that's it for me in this video. I wanted to give you a brief overview of how the championship works because I just learned about it last week. And also I wanted to give you the same tips that my coach gave me for preparing for the wind tunnel training. Thanks a lot for watching and thanks a lot for supporting me. If you want to do so, simply share, like and share this video around so that more and more people are aware of what I'm doing here. I'd like to empower more people to actually go for it and participate into championship because it's so fulfilling to have a goal and then reach it. If it's still time, you can enter our holiday contest, and part of the funds from this holiday contest will be to actually help me support this project. But then you got nothing to lose because everyone gets a Skydive Vibes t-shirt and you can also win a lot of goodies. On that, keep jumping if you still can. Happy holidays and blue skies!